Hey guys, this is Khalif.
And Sherry Ann.
All right, Fat Guy Skinny Wallet, and as promised, we're here to talk about our budget. Hopefully, on the screen, you can see the budget right now. Um, so yeah, I guess we'll just get into it. The way we'll look at our budget is based on our net income, not gross. So this is what we're actually taking home. And as you can see, starting from right and going counterclockwise. No, sorry, going clockwise. Right?
Yes, going
Yeah,
clockwise.
going clockwise. I can tell time.
So we're going to start with on the right with the blue.
Yeah, so that's mortgage and rent. So that's our rent for us. And as you can see, it's 34% of our income. So there's more than 1/3 of every dollar that we bring in goes to just putting a roof over us.
And in New Jersey, that should not be a surprise.
Yeah, especially when you're looking at net, not gross. That's pretty standard. And actually, for where we live and what we live in, we actually are paying. We have a great deal.
Yes.
We're actually paying $200 or $300 cheaper than anyone else around us for what we have. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, it's a little depressing because in other areas you can get other prices.
Yes. In less comfortable areas.
Well, let me just say, I was paying $500 a month in Newark.
In less comfortable areas.
When I was single. So now we're down here paying almost triple that. So anyway.
In more comfortable areas.
Comfortable for who? I don't know.
For me.
Yeah, for Babylon too. All right.
For you who don't know, that's what Jamaicans call police sometimes. It's Babylon. So some people think that's funny. So anyway, let's continue.
All right, yeah, I'm going there. All right, so the next category is credit card payments, and for the most part, that represents the minimum payments for our credit cards. There's just a little bit where we go over so we can start paying things off faster, but we don't have as much room as we want to be able to pay like hundreds per month, which is our ultimate goal.
So that's really depressing. Where credit card payment in is where I wish that our giving was, to be honest. But right now.
Yeah, and as you can see, we'll get down to that in a while. But if we look at credit card payment, student loans, which are the next two things, and then skip over groceries and go to auto payment, if we look at those three things, that's 32% of our income. So if you remember, our rent was 34% of our income. Our debt repayment is 32%. So we're essentially financing another home. It's like we're renting two apartments with how much we're paying just to service our debt. So, yeah, I mean, that's a pretty, when you look at it that way and say, like, there are a lot of people who pay less to live somewhere than we pay just in credit card payments each month. That shows you why we hate debt, and it shows you why we try to get people out of debt or get people to avoid debt in the first place. We had a lot of things come up, and we got into debt, and said the student loan payments, credit card payments, and we owe more on the student loans, but they are at such a low interest rate that the credit card payment is actually higher, even though it's a smaller amount of that we owe in total. So next is groceries. We're at 9% of our net income goes to groceries, and yeah, I mean, I'm pretty satisfied with that amount, especially that you guys know that we try to eat, healthy. We try to buy fresh foods. We don't buy a lot of prepared meals or things like that. So I'm actually pretty happy with that number, considering that grocery costs have just been rising for everyone in this country over the last decade or more. Yeah. And next is what? Auto insurance. 6% of our income goes to auto insurance. So, I mean, that's a necessary thing that we have to have. We have full coverage on our car, so there's really nothing we can do. We have pretty much the top insurance company in the state, and you actually have to have certain employers to be able to get in with this company. So we know we're really not going to save too much more trying to go to anyone else.
I am curious if you all do budget and do know, like, what percentage of your income goes towards auto insurance. That'll be interesting to find out, especially depending on where you live. So if you can let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to know that.
Especially if you don't live in New Jersey. If you don't live in New Jersey, Just calculate real quick how much you pay per month or whatever for auto insurance, and base it on how much you take home, and just tell us what percentage it is and what state you live in.
Yeah, that would be cool to know.
One thing that I think with us that we had to say is that the way we make our insurance payments is that we pay the same amount for 9 months out the year, and then 3 months we don't make any payments.
Right.
And then when we start the new payment, I think in February, we pay like a down payment, which is usually about a month and a half worth. I don't know how they figure it exactly, probably some percentage, but it's like a month and a half worth of payment, and we put that up front, and then we still make a payment at the end of February. So it's pretty much like we have a month and a half where we don't pay anything, and then the other month and a half gets paid in the next month. All right, just throwing that in there just so we're a little bit more accurate with our stuff. The next thing is charity, and that's probably the only thing that we really don't mind spending. That's our giving in church. It's at right now it's at 5% because of everything else that is going on. We aren't able to increase that. So that's the thing that is most frustrating about this budget, is that we have so much going into these other areas that we don't have the freedom that we wish we did, which is why, we talk about being in debt bondage, and which is why the Bible talks about being in slavery, that you're enslaved to your lender if you borrow money. And people don't want to don't believe that, because they say we're not enslaved, but here we want to do something that we can't do. We want to do something to serve God and serve God's people, and we can't do it because of the debt that we have. So that's the definition of slavery. You're forced to do something that you don't want to do, or you are inhibited from doing something that you really want to do, because someone else owns the right to whatever you're trying to use to do that.
I have to admit, one of the most motivating things for me, and one of the things I'm most excited about, is to see the way this chart looks as we get out of debt, because that charity amount, I can't wait for that to increase. Seriously, I can't wait for it to move more to the right, because that's one of our biggest motivations to get out of debt, is to be able to give more. So I'm excited about that, in all honesty. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and if we're not paying if we're out of debt, 32% of the money we pay out each month is removed. We're not paying that 32%, so we can use it in the way that we want.
Yep, that's so giving and savings and lots of other good stuff. Okay.
So next is utilities, and if we look at it as rent, and then utilities, which is on this chart, means gas and electric, and then also if you move over one of the little small slivers there is water and sewer.
Yeah, 1%.
Which is at 1%. Then we're looking at 39% of our income going towards housing costs. So that's a larger amount. Again, I look at the net. I don't like to look at gross, because people aren't figuring out this stuff for taxes and other things. So it's better to just look at what you bring home each week. Gas is just gas for the car, 3% of our income. It was a higher number in the past, but
with the SUV.
Yeah, right. We had the SUV. So getting rid of that and getting a sedan, getting a Sonata, which is pretty fuel efficient, that's really helped us with how much we spend each week and each month on gas. So the other small things in there that are at 1% is home supplies. So that's like cleaning things and buying body wash and stuff like that. That's not groceries, but it's usually purchased with groceries.
Restaurants.
What else? Yeah, okay. Restaurants is at 1%. Vitamins and supplements is at 1%.
Hair.
Yeah, we have hair. So I guess that's like personal care. So anything like that. That's one of the things that we save up for, or that we will. So I think we'll talk about that probably in another video, because this one's probably running, long.
Okay.
So we have a bunch of things that if you continue to look, that say 0%, and a lot of those things are things that we don't pay each month, but that we want to save up for those things. We want to account for them, even though they don't happen every month. They do happen,
Right.
so we have to be aware of them and we have to prepare for them.
Or they're so small that it just came out to 0%. For example,
Right.
movies and DVDs, we just get Netflix, which is $8 a month.
Yeah.
So in terms of this pie chart, it's so minuscule that it came out to 0%.
Yeah, and the same thing with fast food. I think fast food is like $15 a month.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just 0% dry cleaning, stuff like that. So this falls into those two categories. Either it's so tiny it doesn't really matter much, or it's something we don't pay every month. So we're gonna do another video, probably in a week or two.
Nothing.
Okay, we're gonna
Sorry.
do another video probably in a week or two, and we're going to talk about how we actually handle those things that don't happen each month. Those infrequent payments. How do we save for them, and also like how do we account for them?
Okay.
So what are you gonna say?
Oh, nothing.
Okay, all right,
I was just laughing at you because you give time frames and it's funny to me. It's fine.
okay. Yeah. If you guys get it, then I guess you're free to laugh. All right, so that's it. I mean, ask us any questions that you want to ask us. Don't forget to calculate how much you pay for. Actually, it'll be great if you did this for all of the things. And if you have any questions about what we use to get this chart, how we figured the numbers out in the first place, what we use to track our budget, just ask us below, or click in the description box, click on that link, and it'll take you to our website. We actually talk in more detail about each of these things. There's an article we wrote about this, a blog post. So
I'm
you can
sure
go
we'll link
check
to
it
it,
out.
right?
Yeah, in the description box.
Sweet.
Yeah, just click there and you can just go there, and hopefully your questions will be answered. If not, you can leave a comment there or one here.
All right, guys.
All right, take care.